Hello students, welcome again in the video lecture presentation on plant ecology. I am Dr. Deepak Koche, Professor, Department of Botany, Sri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Akola, Maharashtra. And I am welcome you all in the fifth lecture in this series of plant ecology video lecture presentation entitled as light and ecological factor. So friends, this light is usually defined as the electromagnetic spectrum of radiations emitted by sun. We had seen the definition in the previous lecture also. It is the electromagnetic spectrum of radiations emitted by sun, and as we all know that sun is the only natural source of light energy. The light radiations travel through space in a wavy motion and are particulate in nature. And the only a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum that could be seen by or that could be visible to our naked eyes, it is nothing but the visible spectrum. Okay, the visible spectrum of light have tremendous use in our life, particularly in the synthesis of food material, that is the photosynthesis process. In general, it has been found that light is playing vital role in growth, development, reproduction and regeneration of plants and many other organisms. Here I had tried to give you a diagram of the electromagnetic spectrum of radiations emitted by sun. Earlier we had also seen these. Here you can say that the shorter wavelength starting from 10 to the power minus 13 or 14 nanometer to the longer wavelength of 10 having a 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 4 meter length, and it comprises the cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet radiations, UV radiations, then visible radiations, infrared light, then microwave radiations and radio waves, etc. Okay, now this electromagnetic spectrum is also called as this stream of photon. It also have the another name as bundle of massless particles. Okay, the one important thing for you it is that the solar radiation reaches to the earth's surface from the sun within 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And it has the speed of 2,99,792 km per second. That we have to keep in mind. Another things, from this electromagnetic spectrum only a fraction from 390 to 760 nanometer, that is the visible light spectrum, it is useful for our life. Mostly it is called as the visible light. Now we will see the importance of visible light. Visible light falls between the wavelength of 390 to 760 nanometer. Light in different wavelength in this particular region also appears in a particular color to the human eyes, which basically it is called as the Vibgyor: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Okay, that rainbow color you can say. Of these, red light has the longest wavelength and the lowest energy, while blue light and violet light are the others to have shorter wavelength and having more energy. Like the cells in the human eyes, the leaves in the plants also respond to the light energy falling on its surface within 390 to 760 nanometers. To be more precise, the chlorophylls in these leaves absorb most of the light energy, to create food material. Blue light is the essential for chlorophyll production and leaf growth, while red light is essential for the flowering and blooming of a particular plant. Okay, and one important fact is that as chlorophyll reflects the green part of the spectrum, that is from 495 to 570 nanometer, the leaves appears green. So here the answer of a question, that is why leaves appears green. Leaves appears green because the chlorophylls in the leaves, they reflects the green part of this visible spectrum. That's why they appears green. Here I had tried to give information regarding the different radiations which have been used by human beings for some other use. So here different light radiations are identified on the basis of their wavelengths, because each one, that is gamma radiation, is having different wavelength. Suppose X-rays is having different one, then ultraviolet is having different one, visible is having different one. So it is every radiation, it has a different wavelength. It identified with the different wavelength, and nowadays each type of radiation is used for its application by the human beings. Some radiations being used in medicines, like there are microwave radiations, then there are X-rays that have been used in medicine, then some radio waves are being used in radio and telecommunication, then there are gamma radiations or ultraviolet radiations that has been utilized in the research, biological research. So different type of radiation, that has been microwaves, has been utilized for microwave applications. So there are different type of applications of different wavelengths. Now we will see how light affect the life, particularly the plant life. Okay, so we will see exactly how it affects. Particularly, light can be categorized into different parameters: light duration, light quality, and light quantity, you can say. So light duration, it is called as the photo period. Okay, so how much time a particular plant is facing the light condition during a 24-hour day, how much time it is facing the light, that is called as its photo period. And it has been noted that this photo period is very essential for the flowering of that particular plant. On the basis of this light duration, the plants are classified as short day plant, long day plant, and day neutral plant. Okay, now short day plant, they usually require the light duration of 8 to 10 hours. Okay, long day plant, they require the duration of around 12 to 14 hours a day. 24 आवर डे में से उनको 12 से 14 घंटे लाइट जरूरी है. And day neutral plant, they do not require any type of this photo period for their flowering. Okay, in general it has been stated that this solar radiations play a vital role in the life of living organisms directly or indirectly. So similarly, light quality is, that is, and distribution of light is also related to the stem extension, in particular in case of the plant, stem extension and flowering process. Again, this light quantity, that is intensity of light, it is related with the vegetative growth of a particular plant. Okay, so it is very important how the quality light, how much quantity of the light that particular plant is receiving for its proper growth and development. So seeing these things, we can say that the light parameters which affects the lives on earth directly or indirectly and play a vital role in growth and development of plants. Now in the earlier lecture I had told you that the light is an absolute term while the temperature is a relative term. So here I had tried to relate the light with temperature. Okay, Now how it is related, that we will see. So it has been found that light intensity is directly proportional to the temperature of that particular area. If light intensity is more, then temperature of that particular area is also more. In most cases, light and temperature combinedly govern the living organisms in a particular area. Okay, how their distribution will be, it has been governed by the combination of the light and temperature. Now the solar radiations are always perpendicular to equatorial plate of the earth, therefore the light intensity is more and temperature is also more throughout the year at the equatorial plate. As this area receives rainfall throughout the year, it has established the tropical evergreen vegetations. But as we move towards the polar region and from the equatorial plate, the light intensity is found to decrease and temperature is also decreases. So accordingly, the vegetation type is also changes from tropical to subtropical. Okay, the tropical conditions, evergreen forest is there. Subtropical, you may found the what is called the semi-evergreen, or you can see the deciduous forest. Then temperate forest is there, and then alpine forest you can found in the polar regions. So thus this light and temperature combinedly govern the living organisms distribution, particularly plant distribution. Now here I had tried to show the plant processes that has been affected by the light, either light duration or light quality or light quantity, intensity. Okay, so the intensity and duration of light affects the following major processes. The most important process which has been affected by the light, it is the photosynthesis in plant. Okay, the light duration, the light intensity and the light quality, all aspects are related to this particular one. So photosynthesis is the most important process that has been affected by this particular plant light. Another one, respiration, it is the relatively indirectly affected by the light. Then transpiration, as I had already told you, as there is high light intensity, the high light intensity creates more temperature, and if high temperature is there, then rate of transpiration is more. It is also related with the absorption of water. Then photoperiodism, I had already told you that on the basis of the light duration, it has the plants has been classified as short day plant, long day plant and day neutral plant. Then growth and development of the plant is also depend on the light conditions. In all, we can see that the light is an ecological factor which is playing vital role in the sustenance of life on this planet Earth. Okay, so, and sun is the only source of natural source of light which drives all the life processes on this planet. Light and temperature are the related ecological factors, and light intensity and duration affects the various cellular and metabolic processes, and thus affect the organism's growth, development and distribution at large. Okay, I hope you had understood the concept of light and how light is affected different processes in plants, and how the light is essential for the life on this planet. That I had tried to explain. Hope you understood this. In the next lecture we will see temperature as an ecological factor. Till then, goodbye.